All right, thank you for staying with Daybreak. We're getting into the newspaper review in just a bit. We'd like to hear your thoughts as well in our discussion later on. It's Friday. We're turning things down a little bit.
Thank God it's Friday.
Yeah, we just want to know, do you think celebrities get away with too much? The celebrity privilege. Have you ever been on the road and somehow you're told to move aside, or someone is just bulldozing his way through with strobe lights because they woke up late and they think you should stick in traffic as they zoom right through, and they're not ambulances or any emergency vehicles, not even the police.
And that's just an example. Banking.
Yes, you're in the banking hall, and then a celebrity like Antonio Sol here walks in and he's been crossed over right to the front. In as much as you're running out of time, they don't care about you.
Imagine, it's not like you have things to do.
Even in restaurants as well. I've been sitting there for like 40 minutes, nobody cares to serve.
Really, Trevor? You sit in a restaurant for 40 minutes and no one serves you. Why are you lying to me? Hata hapo umetuenjoy.
Alright, the hashtag is Daybreak. You can text in 22422 and of course at Trevor Mbij at Zinzi K. And before we get into the newspaper review, there's a lot that's going on, right?
Yep, let's get straight into that. But before we do that, our SMS line, our SMS number rather is 22422.
Yes.
Twitter's on Twitter at Citizen TV Kenya, or you can call in on 0719 777.
Absolutely, we'd like to hear your views live online as well, and everywhere else where you can get through to us. Just text, tweet, and call. Before we get into all that, let's introduce our guests. It's not polite, you know, it's Friday, people just mixed up. First up, Arnold Maliba, public policy expert, is with us. Thank you for making time. Antonio Sol, the man who needs no introduction, an artist, and he says currently he's filing his tax returns.
I'm filing them,
Thanks for coming in. And Phyllis Masharia, peace and conflict expert, thank you as well for coming in. We're still waiting for Octopizo, if he shows up.
Can we just take a minute on Phyllis, the green from her hair, the top and the nails?
Nailing it.
I like that.
It's a green affair.
It's like, yes.
I like the sound of that. Let's get into the newspapers. Front page of the Daily Nation. Supreme Court judge in gun puzzle. Did he or did he not? A security guard accuses Justice Ibrahim of threatening to shoot him yesterday morning, but the judge says no gun was involved in the altercation because he doesn't even have one. Still on the front page, hunger, the reality from the north. That's on the front page of the Daily Nation. And May pleads with EU over Brexit bid. That's one of the things we had talked about. But let's start off with the issue of the hunger. There's been a lot of contradictions. And Arnold, I'd like to start with you. Government says nobody has died. People on the ground say their people are dying. We can show you the graves. Who's fooling who here?
Well, naturally, when we are dealing with government, I think we take everything government says with a pinch of salt. Actually, a very thick pinch of salt, because they have never learned to say the truth. Government and the truth is like water and oil. Because the chief on the ground was fired the other day. Why is he being fired? He's being fired for drunkenness. They've just discovered now when he broke the story. We are seeing stories. Journalists are on the ground. So we first of all trust the media, then we will think about what government is saying later on, because government denies all through, but it's a fact.
And now we're even seeing government officials now giving different reports. That's now the new
That's
development.
typical of this administration.
Yeah.
That is their way of doing things. Quite uncoordinated. They first deny, lie, and then accept later on.
So, but this took a while for intervention. Do you think that who's failing? Is it the national government or the county government? Because ideally devolution was supposed to tailor-make solutions based on the problems that are facing your own people.
We have got different levels of government intervention, both national and devolution government, or rather the devolved units. And from where we sit today, all aspects of government have failed. We have got NIS in this country, the National Intelligence Service. What are they doing? Are they just snooping into what people are talking? Who is sleeping with who, who's doing what, looking after Anto here and his taxes, if he's paying or not? Because the drought and hunger as it is an issue of national security. When there is nothing to eat, people can actually turn into anything. So where were they? Then we've got the meteorological department. They say they spoke, so government did not act. So it's not really like it's new. And if you look back, the pendulum keeps on swinging. Now we are having a serious drought now. Next month we'll be having floods. It's out there. Any basic person looking into statistics and data will tell you that. But are we prepared? We are not. In fact, if you check online, there is a serious projection of anger on people speaking up against Red Cross, but that anger is just being projected to Red Cross. The real anger, the core issue is to do with government. People are angry. If I were President Uhuru and his deputy, I would be very afraid of Tumechoka Red Cross. It's not about a bus and it's not about Red Cross. It's about people tired about a government that is only perfect in looting. All we hear is billions missing. Then we are being told to contribute.
Right, and let's just speak it from there. And the fact that we are saying, yes, Red Cross has come out saying, telling its partners and Kenyans, let's see what we can do. But Kenyans are saying, a few Kenyans are saying no. Yeah. No, not because we are not compassionate of what's happening, but our taxes should be handling that. One. Two, in 2014, Kenyans came out for Kenyans for Kenya. What happened then? We never saw an aftermath of, I think we raised close to 500 million Kenyan shillings. Where did that money go?
It was actually more than $1 billion shillings. It's still unaccounted for because there's a lot of issues that came up after that. I remember in 2014, I was right here in this studio at a time like this, with Julie Gishuru, and we were doing a crazy media run. So you're moving from one station to the other station, and I remember very well I was at Uhuru Park. You know, I started off with the anthem, and for me it's saddening because when you look at page 4 of the Daily Nation, the affected counties are Turkana, Samburu, Marsabit, Garissa, Isiolo, Mandera, Wajir, Baringo, Kilifi, Tana River, West Pokot, Makueni, Embu, and Lamu. So literally it's 2019. Are you trying to tell me that these people are lying? Are they just lazy that that they want food because they don't want to go to work? And we're talking about a government whose one of its development pillars is food security.
Right.
And if they can't even get food aid to all these people, well then clearly there's a disconnect. And Kenyans are known for giving. Kenyans are known for forgiving and forgiving, that to a point where if I decided today and said my grandmother who died a few years ago that we need some money for her, people are going to give. But it reaches a point when you see Kenyans outrightly. The post that was put up yesterday by the PR company that is handling the Red Cross Kenyans for Kenya, every reply, none of them was positive. And I think there were probably 300 replies if you check the tweet. None of them was positive because people are tired. We're tired of waking up to a new scandal every day. We're tired of waking up to hearing that the judiciary is clearly rotten. We're tired of waking up to this news every single day. And then you want money from our pockets to feed people and we pay taxes. The only Kenyans for Kenya that we can give is a tax that you charge us. Anything else is hogwash. It's a lie, and we're tired of and I think it's good that this is happening because then it's a catalyst for many things to come. This is just the beginning, and it's unfortunate that people have to lose their lives for us to be able to see the light in this way, and for people to put other Kenyans' lives on the line just so we can send a message. There is a point, and I think it really saddens me when I see someone as powerful as the DP stand in front of a congregation and say that people are not dying from hunger. And I saw on this station when you guys said that 17 million Kenyans have in one way or another slept hungry. We all know that feeling of I have not eaten today.
Yeah.
The fact that someone can stand and with such authority say that authoritatively that no one has died from hunger, it tells you that there is a huge problem. And I also love that now, thanks to the handshake, that we see the picture very clearly, because now we have no opposition, so to say, and the only opposition is within the people, and we can see for ourselves, Manze, we've been played for a long time.
So as voters
so
now,
on your own from
as voters now we're on our own.
It's good though.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
It's a wake up call
because now you're enjoying the lashes. Now you're being lashed. You can feel it. It's no longer our people, my people. So now when your people steal next time, you realize your people will be hungry.
Right. Phyllis?
Actually, when we talk of being aware as a citizenry, I would confidently say this is the beginning of our own revolution. The other day we saw leaders being served with dirty water. That was awesome. And now they're refusing. We as Kenyans are refusing to give, which, we are known for giving, as he said, as Antonio Sol said. But now it gets to a point where we are getting more aware. However, at the same time, when it comes to leadership, when it comes to government, I listened to the CS, Eugene, on Tuesday with Hussein, right here on Citizen, and he kept talking about stages. I mean, it's not yet in the alarming stage. What does that mean? Should it even get there? Should there be any stage at all if there is people who are actually on the helm of taking care of Kenyans? But on the flip side as well, there's certain mechanisms and bodies that are accountable for this. He mentioned the NIS. What happened to early warning and early responses, which have taken so much of also the taxpayers' money to put in place? So what happened also to the fact that we should be able to have foresight, even as a government? So in a nutshell, 2 points here. When it comes to the Kenyan citizen, thank God there is visible evidence that we are tired. And we are tired, and I'm hoping also we have a reflective agenda as a people to see that we are also tired with ourselves, with the complacency that we have had over time. So the second thing is about the government. Even when you talk of the chiefs, they are part of the government, they're part of the system. So why are we having conflicting information? Because definitely there is the truth and there is a lie. So who's saying the truth? Who is lying? And I think it's quite obvious. And
it's obvious. And one of the things I've also realized, even when you watch this unfolding across all media, is that, again, as Kenyans, this anger, this vitriol we have on social media, we need to be honest about it now. And we're now really, really questioning who's fooling who is lying, who's telling the truth. Guys, it is obvious. Your government is lying to you, and your people are dying. So who is telling the truth? The dead tell no tales. But their non-existence is clearly truth enough. That is evidence enough in a court of law. And did you or didn't you shoot X? He is dead. Period. So we're talking about a government that has killed its people. So we are now in a court. This is court. And we're standing in court and we're saying, you have killed your people. It doesn't matter if they're 1, 2, or 3. The fact, guys, do you know, it's interesting growing up and you know, I was born in the 80s. And we always used to hear about this, you know, thing that the founding president, you know, tried to eradicate, including hunger.
By the year 2000.
Imagine. So, but
even
he knew he would never make it to 2000. But he knew, yeah, this is a thing that I hope the people who come after me, that there'll be no hunger in Kenya. He passed on in 1978. We're in 2019. We are still talking about trying to eradicate hunger in this country. We are still talking about trying to find ways how we can make Turkana and those semi-arid areas productive. Like things we learned in agriculture before it was removed from the syllabus. It saddens me that this is not an issue. It saddens me that when the French president is in Kenya, there's so much fanfare. We will not choose Haile Selassie Road because the French president is around. But Kenyans are dying in Turkana. Somehow we get examination papers to the centers in those schools in that area. Somehow when they are campaigning, they find ways and means to go and campaign to those hungry people, and somehow they feed them. But now when they need us the most, we're going to ask who's fooling who. The government is fooling the people. We have let down our own, period.
All right.
And actually on the same, when they talk about, you know, it is so offensive and insulting to see the laid-back approach, even as the CS addresses this and talks about, you know, it's just a matter of getting maize from the counties that we have maize to these areas. I mean, why haven't those systems been in place? So as he said, you can get ballot boxes, and I'm sure the counties that this food is coming from to take to all these affected areas is literally closer than the IEBC here in Nairobi. So what happens? I mean, it is a sad affair. Let's start from there. but accountability is important. And it's sad to think that the integrity of the Kenyan people is being taken for granted.